49 out of Cheektowaga, New York. Row number 3 has the 51 of American Patriot points leader Brian Howland and 3-time Oswegan winner Glenn Styres, who is outside. The Hills cars are in row number 4. Jamie Collard to the inside of the 7X out of Burford. Dane Nida out of Tecumseh, Michigan to the 07X. Steve Goldner has dropped to the back. 9 cars ready to go green out of turn number 4.
We get going. Barger gets the good jump on Collins. It's him and sorted out now. Out of 2, it's all Barger.
Justin Barger again got credit for starting in spot number 4, so easily into the redraw. Down to the inside though. Look at Todd Hoddick as the black flag is being given. Looks like to Steve Goldner in the 30G, but it is all Justin Barger right now, Clint.
Barger looks good. So does Doc Collins after only a couple appearances here. He looks very comfortable behind the wheel here at Oswegan. Todd Hoddick, one of our regulars, been working with that blue car for about the last month.
Meanwhile, look at the 3 towards the back of the pack. Dane Nida, Brian Howland, Jamie Collard, all with wins here at the Speedway, and they're all very tight around the racetrack.
Black flag is being displayed for the Goldner 30G. Must have been too late to make the call. He will heed the black flag and take it to the pit area. Barger streaking away over Collins, and Hoddick here is the top 3. Not very close together. Hoddick makes the charge into 1.
Justin Barger just ran his quickest lap at 13.759. Second still is Steve Collins, but Todd Hoddick on the charge. This could be for a redraw spot.
When this group came out, Rich, they were turning their first session like 18 seconds. They've already shaved 5 seconds off the hot lap time. And Barger getting quicker as the track comes in. Here goes Hoddick. Tries to make a slide job. Couldn't make it. They touched just ever so slightly.
And again, if Todd Hoddick can get up into that spot, he will make the redraw. But here comes the Oswegan Flyer. Glenn Styres on the move, looking to close in on 2nd and 3rd.
Glenn Styres started his season up in Florida by beating the best 360 sprint car drivers as king of the 360s. And now he's going at it again. Just a great season for Styres so far.
Jamie Collard, Brian Howland are still dead last on this group. They won some of our Patriot races at Brockville and Cornwall last month. Justin Barger still holds a comfortable advantage. Barger won his heat race here back in June.
Look at Hoddick pitch it off into 3 man. He didn't look like he was going to slow down at all. He wants that 2nd spot away from Dr. Collins. Can't do it yet though. Gets a good run to the bottom of 1 and 2.
Final trip around the Speedway looking for the checkered flag. Justin Barger will make the redraw by virtue of his qualifying heat race win. Then it's Collins, Hoddick, and it looks like Styres is going to get a bunch of passing points.
Great original qualifying heat race tonight as part of the Northern Summer Nationals. A great run by Barger. He travels a long way to get here. Rich, what would you say it takes Barger to get here?
Justin Barger said it takes him 8 hours to get here. Came in tonight as the ESS points leader. He said, off of 4.
Here we go. Kruder has been one of the fastest cars here over the last month or so, and he's up front in that 52 right now, but here comes Kretschka trying to make a run around the top side where the O-Run likes to be.
across the stripe for the first lap, it is Scott Kruder as your leader, but Mikey Kretschka right there in his tire tracks in the installation run.
Kruder has the lead right now. Kretschka starting to fall back. Adamczak holding down 3rd. A good battle going on for that 5th spot between Malloy, Jones, and Rick Wilson.
Jones on the outside. He has challenge there from Rick Wilson, the Joyceville Jet. His first appearance here in quite some time. He shoots by Chris Jones, but they'll swap positions again as Jones comes back down to the bottom.
Those two guys are familiar with each other. Race up at the Brighton Speedway and other tracks in Eastern Ontario a lot, and they're having a good battle back there for a battle of the Eastern Ontario drivers.
Scott Kruder leads them through the first 4 laps. Kretschka right now sitting in 2nd, Adamczak in 3rd, Bergeron 4th, and Brad Malloy rounding up the top 5 of the cross lays out 5 in, 5 to go.
Kruder is the leader at the halfway mark. 2nd, Kretschka. 3rd, Adamczak. 4th is Bergeron, and then it's Malloy holding down the 5th spot.
Lap traffic now for Scott Kruder as he works around Mike Farrell.
And he'll bring Mikey Kretzka through right now in the second spot. Adam Zach in third. Bergeron closing a bit there in the 8B.
Kretzka working on the slower car of Mike Farrell. He gets around him. Here comes Kruder around, and he will try to get around this slower car. I believe that's Jim Lingard. And Kruder will come around, and he will get the 2 to go signal. 10-lap heat races here tonight.
They'll work it down the back stretch with a lap and a half to go. Kretzka down to the inside of Jim Linger now as he will get by him. Adam Zach would be the next car to go by in the 70 as he works it up off the banking into the cushion. And a white flag out for your leader, Scott Kruder, with a half a lap to go.
Track's starting to widen out a little bit now, but Kruder way too far out front for anyone to try to catch him. He gets the win. Second will be Kretzka. Third, Adam Zach. Fourth will be Bergeron. Then it's Malloy, fifth. Sixth will be the 42 of Wilson. Seventh is the 11 of Jones. And then it is the lapped machines of Lingard and Farrell.
Tommy, that's the third straight race here in a row at our weekend 360 competition. Crossroad Farms machine. Shane Ross, Jared Zimbardi, Sam Zankin, Jim Muncie, and the 43 of Shrek. We're green.
Scotty Shirk in the 43 at the back, but they're battling right at the front. Look at Chris Steele. He was the point leader here at the C's track earlier this year. Grabbed 2 feature wins. He really broke out of the box this season, Rich.
We got 3 Ontario drivers leading the field, but it's the winner here from back on June 22nd making the move. Jared Zimbardi looks to the outside. Gets by Ladouceur for third, and now going after the 5 of Keith Dempster. Very bouncy on the right rear.
Wow. You can only imagine what Ladouceur thought. He just got blown by, 1 on each side, by Dempster and Zimbardi into 3, like he was chained to the fence. He's back on it running 4th, but Shane Ross has really impressed a lot of us this year. Rich.
Clint, you can talk about it. You do not want to be through the middle of this racetrack right now. Just softly hook the right rear up on the cushion and let it rip.
Pretty much, that's going to be the way to go. Steeler knew it. He will set himself up with some good passing points and be the heat winner if this continues. So that will really set him up with some double insurance for tonight.
And you know, he's got his wing angle a lot different than anybody else. He's got it really slid forward as flat as can be. The good top 3 have broken away, a good battle for 4th, and a really gaggle of cars for 6th to 9th, including the 43 of Shirk, who goes up the racetrack, and he's going to become an issue as we're coming to 4 to go for Chris Steele.
Yeah, back of the pack, Lodge, Muncie, and Zanchin all together there. Now Shirk trying to find a way, but here comes the leader, guys. You better pick a line.
And Keith Dempster quickly closing in. Dempster looks to the inside, slams on the binders, and closing in is Jared Zimbardi. But Clint Zimbardi either has oil on the headers or a bigger issue on the 35.
Probably just oil on the headers, Rich. Early to tell, though. A Steeler gets up in front of Shirk, and Shirk coming back on the leader. Your lap, just lift a little, brother.
And Steele able to get by. Chris Steele able to get by with a lap and a half left to go and would be safe and sound to make the redraw. The question is Dempster, Zimbardi, or both going to make it as well?
Lodge with trouble in 4. He's all over the place up there out of the groove. Ladouceur and Ross get by. Dempster holding on to second. Zimbardi smoking a little bit of juice on that rear tire, I think.
Good call with the juice. Checkered flag out for the 80 of Chris Steele, easily in the redraw. Looks like Keith Dempster will join him, and Jared Zimbardi may as well. Shane Ross with a nice run to 4th. Lee Ladouceur is going to find himself in the B main. He's done that a number of times here.
Chris Steele continues to get it done here on the dirt. Races this car. His family machine on Friday nights. Races the Pete Costco 17C down at Merrittville and was leading the points down there at the beginning of the year. Got a feature win as well. So Chris Steele having a great season in both the modifieds and sprint cars.
Of course, using passing points tonight, top 18 total, so it's hard to figure out, but we can tell you that any heat race winner locks in that top 10 outlaw style redraw, and that is what Chris Steele has done by picking up his second heat race win of the season here at the Speedway.
Sandercock his first year in a sprint car. Here we go. Hoopinen gets on the hammer, but watch that 2M of Daggett.
Daggett right down the bottom, grabs the lead, a little contact there maybe with Jim Hoopinen off of corner number 2. But Hoopinen back to second, and here comes Shane Stewart already up to third.
Shane Stewart said on Twitter that he's using this sort of as a test session to get ready for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. But you know he wants to get out here and get the big check as well, make his trip to Canada worthwhile, but he's got a long way to make up if he's going to catch up to Daggett and Hoopinen.
Daggett your leader, Hoopinen second, Stewart right now sitting in the third spot. Charlie Sandercock looking strong. His first ever laps of the track, he's in fourth.
Sandercock was one of the fastest cars in hot laps, even though some of those laps were run on a pretty greasy track. He was the fastest, one of the fastest of the bunch, and he looks pretty good in that 57. Right now, that's a former Brian McDonald car, and McDonald here won a feature back a few years ago on Canadian Sprint Car Nationals Friday night.
Next time by, we'll be at the halfway mark, and Shane Stewart's moved now into the second position as he works by Jim Hoopinen. Cross flags are out. Daggett leads at the line.
Daggett has the lead up the halfway mark. Stewart second, then it's Hoopinen and Sandercock in the fourth spot. Look at Mitch Brown up into fifth. He's gained a whole pile of passing points as he started at the tail.
Troubles on the 67 of Chris Duran, seeing if he can get it into the infield. Meanwhile, at the front, with 3.5 laps to go, Daggett is in first, but Shane Stewart closing the gap.
Daggett puts a lap on Frank Baranowski. That'll help him keep Stewart at bay for now, as Stewart has to go to the bottom to work around that slower car. Normally the heat race would be ending right here, but 10 laps here tonight for the Northern Summer Nationals instead of the regular 8.
2 more trips around. It's getting closer every time by. Shane Stewart is right there, and he can sense that he has got a chance to get by Daggett.
Everybody else has been running the top side pretty much all the way around, but Stewart has found a good line around the bottom side. But now the lap machine of Sammy Stice is going to block that line, and Daggett is going to get away once again.
Coming down this time by for the checkered flag, the driver to Portland, Michigan will take the win. Dustin Daggett wins it. Shane Stewart second. Jim Hoopinen third. At the line for fourth. Who's it going to be? Sandercock by a Nerf bar over Mitch Brown. Impressive run for the driver to Caring Place, Ontario. So your winner, Dustin Daggett out of Portland, Michigan. Shane Stewart second. Jim Hoopinen third. And Charlie Sandercock with a great run up in fourth.
He'd love to put that crown on his head. Here we go. Dick Mahoney was here the very first day we raced sprint cars at Ohsweken. And trouble for Turner. He gets together with somebody there, turn one, and he sets it back down on all fours.
Jamie Turner was about the last car in the pit area tonight, and unfortunately is the first one out of competition. A hard end over flip in the 11, and you can tell the way they were working down the front stretch. Just not the way you want to file in tricky turn number 1.
Yeah, it can be very tight here, Rich. And you know what the other issue we've got here, and not placing the blame on anybody, but all these outsiders come in, they run different lines. We see it when the Outlaws come, we see it when the Patriot guys, the SOS guys join our regular guys. And you know, there's different interpretations on the angles required to get into these turns. So we'll get up here and check out the situation for Jamie Turner. Possible contact with Travis Cunningham, 71 here on the bottom of turn 1 and 2. Jamie Turner getting on bumped out of the 11. The tail tank's gone. The rear crash bar is busted off. The right side rear suspension all tore up. They're going to have some work here in the Plaza Gutter Recyclers Booster Juice pit area tonight, but they do have a robust crew and a ton of guys here ready to pitch in and help Jamie get this car back together if they've got the parts. One of the most sportsmanlike teams, you know, guys will be offering up whatever Jamie needs to get going and get rich. Just suspension on the 11 car. They've got a lot of parts, and as I mentioned, one of the most sportsmanlike teams in the pits. They will have all the help they will need if Jamie determines that they can get this one going again. They're set to roll though. Final qualifying heat race in the Northern Summer National Sprint Car event.
Yeah, you're right, Clint. Again, a lot is already shaken up with the passing points. Travis Cunningham is going to restart in 5th. He is slated as starting in 9th. And more contact for Cunningham. Warren Mahoney came down on the 71. Cunningham goes up the speedway. Here comes Kyle Patrick, though. The Tilbury Tornadoes are brewing into turn number 3.
Have not seen a ton of. Look at Cunningham go around the outside and sticks it back to Mahoney and Crawford going after Patrick. What's gotten into this kid?
Confidence. And I talked to him in the pits. I said, what's the difference? He goes, once I got the first one, I always drive it hard, but I've got confidence. He and Patrick are slide driving, and the thing right now, I think that Cunningham could finish 4th to make the redraw. He is slated and starting in 9th. He's going to have 3rd, though, down the backstretch.
I think he's going to make it up to 2nd here.
Yeah.
He is on a mission and not afraid to pound that cushion any way around. Mahoney and these guys only come once a year or twice. Cunningham lives here on Fridays, and this has been his house in 2012.
Well, there's no question about it, as the Mahoneys are side by side, and Warren able to get up to 4th. He is credited with starting in 6th, so that could put the Wiley one into the feature event. Meanwhile,
Adam West have not seen a lot of Batman this year either, and he's putting on a great run here in the 30 car, running just fabulous halfway through as Bob Crawford takes it to the pit area in the number 10.
Adam West did win a heat race at Brighton earlier this year, but you're right, only a handful of starts here at Ohsweken, I think 2 to be exact, for the number 30, and he is, I'll use the word, mellifluous out in front of the field right now.
Cunningham still smashing the cushion in 3, a bit lower there in 1 and 2. Watch him here in 3. He's just kicking that curb right up to the outside.
No concerns for the number 30 with 3 more laps left to go. But here comes Kyle Patrick in the 33K. Patrick credited with starting in 5th. So it looks like the top 3 from this heat race are going to make the redraw.
2 to go now for Adam West out of Ridgeway. He takes it through the middle of 1 and 2. Patrick a bit higher. Cunningham trying the bottom now. Looking for any way to make up some ground on Kyle Patrick.
Can we anticipate the top 3 to make the redraw if they finish in this order? Warren Mahoney to make the show, with the white flag out. Connor Mahoney closing in on Dick Mahoney.
Down the back chute, Adam West, the leader here for the final time. Patrick drives it to the bottom. He's not close enough to pay off, though. Checkers will come down. Adam West, Kyle Patrick, Travis Cunningham, Warren Mahoney, and the big Dick is going to come across. Dick Mahoney will grab 5th. Connor Mahoney, no relation, in 6th.
On the line.
So here we go. Nida gets a good jump in the 07X and rolls it down into turn 1 and 2. But here comes Ross on the bottom trying to fight back.
Wow, that was close off of 2 between Muncie as well as Howland and Hooperton. They all made it clear, and we remain green on the track.
Boy, Muncie slid up the track in turn 4 and almost took out the 27H of Hooperton. A scary moment there, and everybody stays underway. We stay green. Right now, Howland holding down the final transfer, but here comes Hooperton.
Dean Nida, your leader. Ross right now sits in 2nd, Adam Zach 3rd, and Hooperton has the final transfer position. Flying Brian Howland on the outside looking in.
Howland having a tough season here on Ohsweken, has not had the runs that he would like when he's been here for a couple of races earlier this year, and again falling back from that final transfer spot as Nida pulls away out front.
When you see a rookie in the front row of a B main, you usually expect that driver to fall through the back, but that's not what we've seen out of Shane Ross here, and a very impressive rookie. He sits a solid 2nd right now behind Nida.
Up to 3rd for the moment is Hooperton as he pulled the slider on Adamczak. Here comes Adamczak back once again. These drivers need to realize they're both in transfer spots. They want to get to the feature without taking each other out. Here comes Howland back into the fight.
6 laps in, 6 to go here in this first B main. at the front. Dane Nida doing well, but the battle right now is the final transfer spot. Adam Zach had it. Howland has it for a moment, and here comes Adam Zach back to the inside.
Slide job city up there in turn number 4. We've seen that move numerous times already tonight. And now Howland uses it to take over the final transfer into slower traffic. Now is Nida in the 07X.
Yeah, Dane Nida leads lap number 8 with Shane Ross right now mired behind a couple of lap cars. He's in second. Nice move to get by those lap cars. Hoopin right now in third, and Brian Howland, who was on the outside, now sits in the final transfer spot.
Track was a little bit greasy in hot laps, but it is racing now and fast as well, as Nida ripping off some good laps out front in the 07X.
2 more trips around for the leader, Dane Nida. Trouble right in front as Brad Lodge gets nailed by Shane Ross. And a red flag instantaneously. Brad Lodge involved, and Shane Ross clipped him hard. We want to remind everyone to stay away from the fence, please. And yeah, just pointed out to me, look at where Brad Lodge's top wing lays, almost into corner number 1.
Well, Greg, I'm down.
Hoopinen nailed it.
Down here on the track, Brad talking over to Kevin and our safety crew is taking the safety gear off. As soon as we got on the scene, he's basically just shaking his head, giving us the indication that he's all right. So we'll wait to get Brad here out of the number 2. This car certainly not going to see a racetrack anytime soon. We've got parts and pieces all over the place.
And Clinton, if you could have a look at the 3R of Shane Ross, he was running second in a transfer spot. He took some heavy contact. I know Dale Shunman having a look right now. And Brad Lodge out of the car now. Let's hear it for Brad after a wild flip.
And it looked like an issue on the 2 of Lodge. It got sideways coming off the corner. Really nothing Shane Ross could do, and I'm sure that's what Brad is doing, discussing with Shane at this point at his 3R.
So Brad Lodge over to just say, hey, sorry to Shane, didn't mean to get in your way out there, and tough break. How about it, folks? Brad Lodge, he's all right. Took one of the nastiest flips we've seen on the front straightaway here in a while.
Dane Nida, Tom Hoopinen, Brian Howland, and Don Adamczak sit in the important spots right now. The transfer positions, Jim Muncie, Chris Jones right there, trying to get into the top 4 and make tonight's 25-lap main event, round number 3 of the Northern Summer Nationals. Single file past the restart cone on the front stretch. Dane Nida gets on it, and we're underway.
So Nida on the hammer in the 07X, and the top 4 breaking away from the rest of the field. They want to be in those final transfer spots. Adamczak and Howland, a couple of Patriots who are regulars, going at it for 3rd.
The top 4 pretty much broken away from the back 4. It's a matter of just staying clean and green for the next lap and a half. As your leader, Dane Nida, way up to the top side, we'll see the white flag this time across.
The damage on the front wing not hurting Tom Hoopinen at all. He's got a good run on the bottom side. A little bit bumpy down here in turn 2, but he's making up ground on Nida.
Checkered flag coming out here in the first of 2 B mains. Dane Nida will grab the spot, so will Tom Hoopinen, as well as Brian Howland and Don Adamczak. Not qualifying will be Chris Jones, Jim Muncie, Stan Zenkin, and the 67 of Chris Duran. So there's your winner of B main number 1 out of Tecumseh, Michigan. It's Dane Nida.
Jimmy Hoopanen, the Red Rocket, gets him underway.
Sandercock, the rookie, did a great job to hang with the defending champ here on Fridays. Hoopanen with a great drive off the bottom, but Charlie Sandercock cut his teeth down at Brighton, getting into sprint cars and looking pretty darn good, Rich.
You know, he's a driver, and we did this on our TV show. He said, I like to run the bottom. Every time I've seen Charlie Sandercock drive, he goes up to the top of the speedway, and that is what Jamie Collard is doing for a transfer spot.
I don't think anybody other than me is really surprised. Sandercock's got this one together, man, but we got the best in the 360 sprint cars here tonight, and to be leading any B-main is a big deal.
No question about it, but Clinton in his 4 starts at Brighton this year, all top 10s, including 2 fourth-place finishes. Charlie Sandercock knows how to wheel a race car.
Been doing it a long time, up through the street stocks to late models, into the sprint cars, and he's hugging that outside cushion to perfection here in the 57, holding off the defending Speedway champ.
Down to the inside goes Jim Hoopanen, looking for that point off the bottom of turn number 2, and it's there, just not enough to get by the 57 as of yet. Sandercock overcooks the corner, and here comes Jim Hoopanen to the inside.
Man, the cushion saved Sandercock, though. Snapped that car back straight, sent him down the straightaway in the right direction, and he's still high-siding it, not going to give up. They nearly touched down the back straightaway.
Issue for April Wilson in the 15 AW, something wrong in the rear end. Looks like the rear end has locked up on her machine and comes to a stop halfway through this second B-main 6-hole, and an issue for the 15 AW.
April Wilson out of the 15 AW into turn 1. You know, Rich, right from the outset in the hot laps and the pace laps tonight, that car was sparking out of the left rear. So maybe something has not been right in the car all night, but either way, April Wilson now will be done for the night. You're not going to get from the back up into 4th here to grab a qualifying position for the feature event to come later on tonight. Rich, how many are going to start? 26 tonight?
26 starters in tonight's feature event, Clinton. And right now, one of those drivers looking to punch a spot into the A-main. His first trip here to Ashweekend, Charlie Sandercock in the 57. And I'll throw a little shameless plug out there. We're shooting some races this year for the Go Nuclear Late Model Series, which will be running in Brighton September 8th. And Charlie is one of the premier drivers, so is Greg Bellier. The Bellier-owned machine. And Sandercock has been behind the wheel of. Tommy, you can speak to this a little bit more. 4 starts for Sandercock up at Brighton this year, and a very impressive track record. 4th, 9th, 4th, and 5th.
Just get the report. Had never even been here to see a race at all, and he's done a great job. You know, you mentioned about Jamie Collard being really hot last year, not so much this year, struggling a bit. I really see that in the years we've had, 5 or so years we've had sprint cars, Rich. You see guys who are just so dominant. Dave Dykstra, for example, was untouchable 2 years ago. Hoopanen last year. These guys just have had trouble. Not necessarily trouble, but you got new blood stepping up their game each and every week, and that makes it difficult.
And I think everybody in the pit area goes through that because the competition level is so high. Green flag is out in the top 5, really able to break away. Connor Mahoney, wouldn't it be something if Connor went and stole a spot from Collard? Meanwhile, for the race lead, down to the inside goes the defending champion, and the first timer able to hold him off through turn number 4.
Jim Hoopanen is doing his best to intimidate Charlie Sandercock, but the veteran of multiple styles of racing,
look at this for 4th.
not worried about it all, holding his line and making Hoopanen pitch it to the bottom. Good battle for 4th.
Absolutely, and that's for the transfer spot. 2 great battles on the racetrack. Hoopanen's the new leader. Meanwhile, Jamie Collard just cannot get that car to go forward, and remember, he is in the chase tonight for the PSG Canada Championship. Enters that battle in 3rd. He needs to make the show first.
Wilson up to the high side in 3, running in the 3rd position. Comes back down on Collard, who takes 4th, and now shooting after 3rd under Ricky Wilson.
Barely gets by the Joyceville Jet, so it puts Wilson on the bubble. As we've got a spin in turn number 1 and 2, Jim Lingard comes around. Scott Shirk able to avoid. So will everyone else. Yellow flag is out, 9 laps home.
Tonight's venture, no matter how it finishes from here, we may be able to say you can go home with a spot. I mean, things could get a lot worse from now, but Charlie Sandercock and Greg Bellier got to be pretty happy over in the pit area. I wonder why Big Greg was here now. There's a dude, you ever seen him race a Mod Light back in the day? He's only 9.5 feet tall. Hopefully I'm not insulting you, Greg, because you are 9.5 feet tall. I know why you're mad at me, but
He is embellishing a little bit. Notice that Rick Wilson is in 3rd. That lap was not going to leave for the 3rd and 4th place cars. Ricky back in 3rd, Collard in 4th.
okay, a solid 6.5 plus feet anyways. bigger than my 5'10". Here we go.
Oh, Sandercock
Yeah,
up the speedway.
blew it up the cushion a bit, and now not intimidated by Ricky Wilson, says but Wilson going to come back at him. Can't catch him though. Sandercock pulling away with 2 to go.
Meanwhile, Collard really messed up turn number 4. Hits turn 2 much better though, and able to rock it away in the 7X. Jim Hoopinen comes around. 1 more lap left to go.
White flag for Jim Hoopinen, the defending Speedway champ. Sandercock, the rookie here at Ohsweken, trying to hold on to second. Wilson, Collard goes around and over. Collard goes around and over. Oh boy, trouble in turn 2 for Jamie Collard.
On his own.
Had a qualified position with 3/4 of a lap to go. Tips it over in turn 1 and 2, and that'll be the end of the night for Jamie Collard.
I'm quite surprised, Tommy.
Yeah, definitely. Not the way Jamie Collard wants to end his night. We're used to seeing him up towards the front of the field at the 7X. A pretty easy roller, really, but the front wing and the top wing all bent up on this one.
Tommy, some fuel concerns down there right now?
Yeah, Jamie got out of the car pretty quick. I think some fuel did leak out of that one. A lot of oil now leaking out of the car as well.
Well, guys, when you think about it, just the way it was nosed over, meaning and with the nose down, all that fuel and stuff would definitely roll up your back if anything was leaking out the way Jamie was in the car. He got out in a hurry. And you can see the frustration on Collard's face there as he's very agitated in turn 1 and obviously upset with himself.
Well, and again, even though tonight is a short points only event for the 4-pack championship points, which again, Jamie's not going to factor into. Reminder that tomorrow night, South Buxton Raceway will be the finale of the Northern Summer Nationals 4-race series. It is a $3,000 to win event, which will crown the winner and the starting, guaranteed starting spot to whoever is the points champions. Remember that entering tonight, it is Justin Barger, who leads by 1 point in those standings. Jared Zabardi second in those standings, and again, they're so tightly woven that we'll have to wait until after tonight to really determine who will be leading those points entering tomorrow night. Dane Nida is in the mix, Travis Cunningham, Dmstyres, Dustin Daggett, Ladisor, and Brian Howland and Brown are going to have some work to do, and Brian Howland is the defending Northern Summer Nationals champion. He had to use that spot. So Connor Mahoney is right now provisionally into the feature event. He's made every feature here in the last 5 starts, looking to make it 6 in a row. 1 more to go.
Here we go. Hoopinen gets on it. Green and white come out together. 1 more lap to go. Top 4 make it in, Rich.
Sandercock right back up to the top of the racetrack. Gets a good ride off of turn number 2. Ricky Wilson unable to hang with him. The top 4 able to break away. Wilson throws it in there very deep off the corner, but it'll be Jim Hoopinen picking up the win.
Sandercock with a solid run in second. Then Wilson and Connor Mahoney. You're unofficially qualified cars out of the B main.
Gulfy Concrete car number 80, it's the real deal, Chris Steele. This time off of corner 4, they're going to be 4 wide for you, the fans, on your feet and wave. Feature presentation.
3 wide down the front stretch. I'm not sure Chris Steele expected Dustin Daggett to be down on the bottom. Here comes Justin Barger through. He's in the 3rd.
Steele out in front, Daggett in second. Barger already challenging up at the top 2 position. He's right there on the back bumper of a 2M of Dustin Daggett.
It's a hornet's nest back in the pack. Here comes Stewart to the inside. Back around him goes Travis Cunningham as they follow through and go 3 wide into different spots into turn number 3 and 4.
Steele the leader again at lap number 2, and as you said, Rich, a gaggle of cars right behind the top 3. Scott Kruder is leading that pack, but here comes Travis Cunningham, and around goes Todd Hoddick in corner 2.
Two laps in, and the 49 of Todd Hoddick loops around. Hoddick, who was running in 8th, a little loose off the corner, did a nice job to avoid the traffic, yet slamming the brakes. Did make hard contact at the right side. And Tommy, I bet the first point you're looking at, the Jacobs ladder.
Yeah, definitely some issues down here on the right rear of the 49. He's pushed that wheel in a little bit. Doesn't look to be anything bent on that car, though. He may be able to get pushed back off and keep going here.
Speedway, actually, that was the second lap around. So still some very good times being turned. And boy, it was wild on those opening stages, guys. And I know you could feel it down on the racetrack as it was 3 and 4 wide with drivers that really missed the setup going into those corners right in the middle of the speedway.
Yeah, Rich, you mentioned it under green flag as a hornet's nest, and it was down here in turns 1 and 2. They were 3 and almost 4 wide here a couple of times, and everybody did a good job to stay off each other.
Yeah, I'd like to throw in the guys did a great job widening out this track. I mean, that was a nasty cushion on the top side, but we got it back together. Green is out. Back to you guys in the tower.
Chris Steele leads him to green with 2 in, and here comes Justin Barger down to the inside. They go wheel to wheel off of corner 2.
Guys, there's a nasty little whoop-de-doo right now in the middle of 1 and 2. That's why Todd Hoddick spun out last time, and these drivers are going to have to serve notice. Good battles on the racetrack. 1 for 5th. Kyle Patrick on the move, and Justin Barger just hit that spot. Cunningham at that spot and moving by is Shane Stewart.
Shane Stewart now up into the top 6 as he's right there in the back near far of Kyle Patrick, and Scott Kruder looking to crack to the top 5.
And here comes Kruder. He's going to hit that spot. And if you go in too low in turn 1, it will really make your car violent. As Jared Zimbardi washes up the racetrack, Hoddick goes to the infield. Still your leader.
Still riding that high line. Justin Barger bicycled at that time as he went through that hole in corner 1 and 2, but he stays right there within striking distance of the leader.
And you think after one time hitting it, they would want to get away from that spot. Lap traffic going to be a major factor now, and Barger does it again. I guess once you learn to ride a bicycle, you never get sick of it. Daggett closing in on the top 2.
Lap traffic already becoming a factor as they will reach the 57 of Charlie Sandercock. Chris Steele high and dry on that top groove, and yet Justin Barger continues to hit that rut in corner 1.
You know, Barger did finish in the top 5 of the Canadian Nationals, running the bottom of turn number 2 last year, and wow, did Chris Hill hit the lap cars at the perfect spot. And Daggett's going to try to go to the outside. Remember, it's lap cars that did him in back in June here, but this time makes it stick on the outside. Goes around both for second and for the lead. Justin Daggett out in front.
Wow, what a move out around the top side as he continues. Chris Steele slides up the banking. That allows Daggett to pull away as he will work around
Shane Stewart with an issue.
Troubles with Shane Stewart in corner 1.
Shane Stewart's going pit side. The 2-time Canadian National champion is out. So those of you that had him in the bet, you're having some problems right now. Justin Daggett working on the lap cars. Remember, he got a little impatient last time. He is impatient again. Slides it through and near into the turn 4 wall and just kept it off.
How he saved that, I'm not sure. There wasn't much room to the inside of him to get by, and he got in and missed the wall as well. Nice driving by Dustin Daggett. Chris Steele, meanwhile, mired in the lap car.
And they're good lap cars. Brian Howland, Rick Wilson, and Warren Mahoney. All of them. He's trying to work through. Remember, Steele finished in second here back in June.
Dustin Daggett has had a love-hate relationship with this track. It seems he's able to win the odd time, but at the most opportune times, the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, he can't notch it. This is a good test and tune for him as we reach the halfway point.
A half a track behind the leader is 4. Oh, we got a spin. Connor Mahoney in turn number 1 and 2 comes around. Caution will fly.
Just at the halfway point, 1 lap past. They may go back to the previously scored lap, so I think we'll be on 13. But Connor Mahoney loops it around in corner number 2. Dustin Daggett was in another time zone. Second place
Engine. That is a family-built engine that they have used the same, or they have never had a motor failure in 10 years of competition. This is the first one tonight.
That's remarkable.
It is.
It is.
It is.
So we got back to green flag racing, single file past the restart cone. Dale Shuneman throws the green, and Dustin Daggett takes off.
It's going to be a two-car race, if that. And out in front goes Daggett because Barger's 3-4 cars behind. Chris Steele running well, but again, Daggett's biggest enemy might be lap traffic. An issue for Mikey Krutchka. Holds it up on the back stretch. And that lap will not be taken. And that lap's not taken, so the lap cars will have to be factored back into the process. Hold it up front end on the 01 of Krutchka.
And join us tomorrow night. Check out SouthBuxtonRaceway.com and OshukenSpeedway.com for more information.
You can try to follow along on the scoreboard in turn number 1 and 2. The 80, the black car, is third in line, second in the running order. The 5 is Justin Barger, seventh in line, third in the running order. At the 0 dmstyres, the 33K of Kyle Patrick. Your top 5 as we get ready to go back to green. Still 12 laps left to go. And look at Daggett just jump on the loud pedal and rock it away from the rest of the field.
Chris Steele will work to the outside of the lap car of Adam West as we're coming down to complete lap number 14.
A good 3-wide battle for 5th. It'll see the 33K of Patrick get shuffled out. Alain Bergeron into the top 5 on the bottom of lane.
And Glenn Steyer's right there sniffing around as well. He's up there in the points for the Northern Summer Nationals Championship. But meanwhile, out front, the top 2 have broken away. Justin Barger still working to get around Adam West and Rick Wilson.
Yeah, Barger just struggling through the middle of the speedway. Those lap cars are as strong as he is right now. A good gaggle of cars for 6th to 10th. Kruder leads them. Hang on between Collins and Cunningham. And around the outside goes Tommy Hopinen.
Man, close call down in corner number 3, but they all come out unscathed. Got to give a call here to Chris Steele, who's doing a nice job holding with the leader. He's right there. He's not within striking distance, but he is keeping pace.
4th right now is Bergeron. It is wild and woolly for 9th. The Hopinens nearly come together. And Glenn Steyer's way up the racetrack, falls out of the top 5.
Halahoopinens and Cunningham have not wrecked yet. I do not know. Some nifty driving between the 3. They've had some close calls. And Glenn Steyer somehow maintained up there. Now he goes off again.
Steve Collins having an issue as well. He drives back around him, and they're 3 wide all the way down the back stretch. Cunningham downstairs. He said the bottom of turn number 4 is where I gotta be. He gets there and gets the spot.
All the while we've been watching that, and we are down to 5 to go, and the leader has already caught all of these drivers.
Daggett he's got a little bit of a wing issue though. His nose wing is slid back on the 2M. Look at that, Greg.
He'll work to the outside, as you say. Problems on that nose wing, but it doesn't seem to be slowing him one bit. He works to the outside of Keith Dempster, runs out of room there for a moment.
I tell you what, though, he is fighting the handling on that race car. It is not able to get the nose into the ground as he would hope. Comes off the corner and nearly plants it in the front stretch wall with 3 to go.
Chris Steele about a 3/4 of a straightaway away as the leader goes down the backstretch around Tom Hupinen. And we'll work it to the bottom side in 3. It'll be 2 to go this time around.
Absolutely incredible. He has lapped up to 10th place. Mitch Brown would be the next one to go down. 2 more to go. The nose wing sliding back even more. He can't get the forward drive off the corner, but he's got a full backstretch lead.
He really twitched it up in 3. Loses it a little bit in corner 4. Takes the white flag. Just has to hold on for 1 more lap. And a spin right in front. Warren Mahoney, Chris Jones involved.
Wow. 1 lap away from the finish. Dustin Daggett had lapped up and lapped the 10th place car of Mitch Brown. But Warren Mahoney with an issue. A little more sweating to do for the 2M.
Well, the white flag coming out regardless, and we're going to go green flag racing. Get this show moving along, folks. 1 lap to go.
Okay, the clarification is that Glenn Styres in the 0 is on the lead lap in 9th. Our scoring will switch on the restart. So Mitch Brown is in 10th, a lap down.
Dustin Daggett with 1 lap to settle it, and a pile of lap cars between he and the 5B of Justin Barger. Just needs to hold on.
Only 1 lap to sort this out. And again, it's just a 3/8 mile drive for Dustin Daggett to keep it off the wall and pick up the win.
Round number 3 of the Northern Summer Nationals, brought to you by Jones Brown Motorsport Insurance, goes to Dustin Daggett. Double D will go to victory lane.
Looks like Barger's going to cross in spot number 2, and third across the line, the 80 of Chris Steele.
Dustin Daggett's out of the car, and he can hear you now. Put your hands together for the Northern Summer Nationals feature winner here to pick up your prize at the base of the flag stand with our 50-50 ticket sellers. And Dustin, once you got out front, we saw some moves in lap traffic we haven't seen very much here. You were really on it here tonight.
Yeah, this car was working pretty good. It became a pretty big handful when the nose wing fell back like that. I've been having a lot of issues with that stuff. I gotta get that figured out. But man, the lap cars just moved out of the way just at the right time, and we were able to snake through there and put a lot of lap cars between me and second. So,
Who do you want to thank for getting you here to the Engine Pro Racing Winter Circle tonight?
I got to thank my car owners, Phil and Marty Mott. They can't come over here this weekend. They're busy doing other stuff, and I got to really thank Sweet Manufacturing, Richardson Farms, All-Star Performance, and there's probably more, but I'm pretty excited. This is only our second feature win of the season, so hopefully things will turn around here.
There he is. That's Dustin Daggett, and he'll have another chance tomorrow night in the finale of the Northern Summer Nationals. Put your hands together once again for the feature winner here tonight, and Rich Buck's going to talk to second place Justin Barger.
Start down here with Bill. We back up a bit. We got a lot of shadows here. Back up a bit. We got
There,
a lot
hang
of
on to that one
shadows.
for a second. Okay, Justin Barger in second. Looking underneath the race car, a little fluid leaking out after it was over.
Yeah, I think just lost an oil pressure gauge there for some reason, but you know, I was just a little too tight behind the lap cars there to keep up with Dustin. He nailed the setup there pretty good, so we got to work on it a little bit to come back for the Nationals, but all in all, pretty good night.
And a pretty good night for you for the PSD Canada standings and the Northern Summer Nationals. Tomorrow's going to be a big night. It's going to be between you and Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty close here in the races, so feels good to race with a guy like that, so we'll see what we got tomorrow.
And I know it's tough to transfer a lot to next month with the way the racetrack is tonight, but each lap's got to help.
Yeah, you know, you never know what you got to get, but you know, the Nationals, there's a lot of racing there before the main night, so I'm sure the track's not going to be as good as this, but we got something to work with here.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Second across the line, Justin Barger, and will carry the points lead for the Northern Summer National Series in it tomorrow night.
Third place tonight, Chris Steele, the real deal, and you're showing you're just that, a dream season. You didn't win, but to finish third behind these two guys, that's a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah, there's some pretty good guys here. Some pretty good guys behind me too, so it's pretty good to finish third. I'm pretty happy.
It seemed like a wild finish and a lot of lap traffic to deal with. Is that what cost you keeping up with Daggett?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I had the car got really loose at the end there, and I was just struggling to hold on, so I'm lucky to take third. So,
Who would you like to thank for the run tonight?
I got to thank my parents. My dad works a lot on the car. My girlfriend's always there to support me. Golfy Concrete, he's stepped up a ton this year, and he's been pretty good to me. Racing equipment, Turbo Collision, Niagara Parts. Hopefully this can go next year.
There you go. That's the Chris finishing third here tonight.
Hey, Chris, you for a top 3 photo?